Here. Okay, we got it. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, y'all. Thank you. Okay, let me give you the background why I want to do this real quick. Uh, yes, obviously, this is the 50th anniversary of my family leaving for America and also the fall of Saigon. At first, I didn't want to do this because it is a lot of work to organize something like this. And but then I read the article from the New York Times how Trump said he wanted everyone to stand down in Vietnam, the
Yeah.
embassy, and that upsets me. I'm like, what? Come on, you know. So I said, if he stands down, you saw my flyer. I said, if he stands
Yeah.
down, it's okay. We go and do it, and we know the reason why he didn't want to do it because this is part of the 100th uh, uh, you know,
Days.
days in office. So it's just embarrassing how. Yeah, I don't know. You saw the headline in New York Times today. It says, "Can y'all see it?"
No.
I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you.
Oh yeah.
There have never been 100 days like this.
Oh my God. No
Oh my
word.
gosh, the worst. Okay, so anyway, I won't talk about Trump until at the last half of the presentation for those who want to stay. Okay, but the main purpose today is the stories of my friend Pam's family story, how he came to Vietnam from Vietnam to here, and then I will tell my family story, and then my friend Kathy will share a wonderful story about a Vietnamese. She's a former HPD officer, and she will share her story about that. And so let's do that first, and then at the end we have a question and answers at the end, and then then we can talk. We can bash Trump at the end. That'll be fantastic. Okay, let me introduce my good friend Tam. How the guy? Same thing. I'm sorry. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's have some fun first. First of all, I want to recognize my family. Can you wave, please? Can you wave my family member? That's my sister Ty, and then my brother Richard.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to recognize my activist friends. Where's my activist friends? That's Patty. And where's Kathy? Kathy.
I'm here.
Kathy. And my friend Cynthia. I see my friend Cynthia. Anybody else I'm missing?
Why?
Who else I'm missing?
Just got
Activist friend
muted.
in Houston. Anybody? Who am I missing?
Tweet, chị Thủy.
Oh, my sister
hi.
Tweet. Oh, my sister Tweet just came in.
Yes.
She just came back from Asia and she's still jet lagged. So I apologize for that. And what else? My next group of friends is my LSMSA friends from high school. Wave, everybody wave. There you go. I have a lot of those.
Oh
And
wow.
I
then,
recognize Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
yes, Dennis,
Hi.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow,
And then,
Dennis.
okay, okay. And now we recognize my local peeps in Houston. That's my Starbucks friends. I have Starbucks friends. Frank, you're my Starbucks friend. Okay. That's right. And then, okay, and then my Equinox family. Who's my Equinox family? Wait,
Right here.
Equinox
Right
family.
here. Right here.
Right here. That's right. We have a lot of Equinox family. And of course, last and not least, my high school sweetheart. Oh, she's in the house.
I saw
She's in the house.
Hi,
That's right.
In the house.
She's in
I'm
the
the one
house.
that
She
you called
was
old.
Yes.
my bridesmaid. My bridesmaid.
Exactly. I've known Win since we were 15.
Wow.
So on this Zoom call, she is my oldest friend.
Oh.
No, you
Longest,
still look
most
wonderful.
enduring.
Yes,
Well,
that's
exactly. We went to high school together. We went to Tulane together with Tam, the guest speaker, and she now is a surgeon practicing in Louisiana. So I want to thank you so much. Seeing you today makes my heart feel so warm. Of course, all your friends too. All my friends too. But come on, this is my high school sweetheart. This is my high school sweetheart. Okay, so anyway, here we go. I'm going to introduce Thumb now, please. Thumb is my very good friend from high school. Before you guys joined, he was my neighbor when we stayed in the dormitory with Dennis. My Dennis was my roommate. Thumb graduated from Tulane. Engineering, right, Tom? You were engineering.
Mechanical
I remember
engineering, yep.
mechanical engineering, and he's been working for HP. How many years now, Tom?
23 years total.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's right.
So yeah, yeah.
So I would like to let's give a hand for Thumb. He's going to tell his family story. Okay. Okay. So please start. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, yes. Well, thank you all, very much. I have a few minutes, a few maybe a few pictures to share, as I go through the story. But I want to thank Hi for organizing this. And again, it's wonderful seeing LSMSA friends as well as Win and some old faces I haven't seen in many, many years. So I'm just going to Hi, can you let me share? I was going to just show up a few slides.
Okay. Share. How do I do that, buddy?
It's okay. It's
No,
no
problem.
problem.
Click on participants.
Okay.
There should be like an arrow or something, and you can.
Okay, I see. And just invite him. No.
Is there a way to like make him host
Oh, that's true.
or share host?
Host tools. Hold on, I got host tools. I'm so sorry. Share host.
No problem.
No, I'm so sorry. We should have practiced. We should have practiced earlier. I apologize.
It's okay. I just what I did was in the course of preparing for the discussion, I just found some old family photos of when we were living in Vietnam, and I left Vietnam when I was 7. So 1975, I was 7.
Cam, if you hit the share button, then you'll have a prompt to say send request to share, and then
yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, no, I don't, David, I don't have it. It's okay. It's no problem. But at the time, my mom was pregnant with my brother. So we have four of us in the family, and our story is that we left the day the Saigon fell. And my father, he wrote in a journal, he wrote some notes, and I'm leveraging some of that because at the time when you're 7, you don't really remember much. And I do remember certain scenes, but one of the things that I want to share with you is that I wasn't scared. It was kind of like a new adventure for me. And I've shared this with some of our close friends that I've talked to. Of course, looking through, talking with my dad, talking with my parents, this was a very scary time for them. My father was a captain in the South Vietnamese Army. He has friends who were in the Navy, who had friends who were in the police, the South Vietnamese police. And there were 3 families who kind of tried to escape together, if you will. I remember the night before there were bombings. We were at our friend's house, and they were, shelling kind of Saigon. And it wasn't that close, but you still heard it, and you saw some flashes. And for us, again, I don't remember it being a fearful time. I mean, of course, I think there was maybe being scared, but the following day, my father and his friend, who was also a Navy officer, went out to the harbor for us to go because we couldn't arrange any type of transportation. All of us, I found out later that a lot of the officers had heard earlier, they had already left. And so the transportation, I think, was very difficult. But luckily, we were able to find a very small boat that was enough to kind of fit all of us, about 20 of, but I would say 15 of us in all. And we went out on the Saigon River. So it was in the afternoon. I remember going out there. We got on this small boat, and we were going out just to we can just leave the city because my father would have probably been arrested. He probably would have been killed as an officer. And I think part of that, I think that was the initial motivation. And, as we go, as I think back to the process and I looking through some of his notes, I think that the decision to come to America, there was, he had gone to school in America in 1969, and he was able to, he spoke English, he was able to speak English, and he was trained as an officer, but he really loved the American people. And at the end of the day, on the way out of the Mekong River, we were still looking to escape, but we couldn't. The ship was getting to be too small. There was no other ships that was on the river for us to catch up with. So we ended up turning around. And looking through at this time, again, for me, it was like, wow, I'm on a boat. This is kind of neat. I've never been on a boat before. My dad shared that it was very, very scary for him. There was a lot of praying. He thought maybe possibly all of us could have drowned, on this boat. But turning around and going a little ways, we were able to find the last ship. It was ship number 402. He remembers that, and it was like an American ship, and it was going down the river. It had one engine, and it couldn't stop for us. Of course, we ended up turning around, and we were like riding along in parallel with it. And I remember getting tied and getting leashed up, so I had to climb up from our small boat up to the ship, and we were all passed. We were all passed up there, and all of us was able to make it. Obviously, it was just us. We had just the clothes, and the clothes on our back. And hey, Earl. And basically, that night, so as they made it, the ship made its way down the river. That night, we were asked to turn back because the South Vietnamese Army wanted us to this us, and but the ship kept on going, and it made it out to the ocean. But then we lost our engines. And it started taking on water as well. Fortunately, we were close enough to international waters where the U.S. 7th Fleet was able to send out an SOS, and we were able to get some help within the next day. Meanwhile, we also had ships that came to us from Australia and France, that was trying to kind of assist, at that time. And I think that was like a moment for my dad. I think he could have, he spoke French as well. And, France was always a very glamorous place to be at the time. So he had a choice, to go there. And then Australia was there as well. But he ended up selecting the United States. And I think that was the kind of the best life-changing decision that he could have made. All of us were able to go together. I'm sure he's conferred with his friends and the families at that time. But the U.S., we all decided to get on the U.S. ship at the time. And, and that was the last ship that came to pick us up. And the vessel that we were on, we ended up, letting it sink and putting it on fire and letting it sink into the ocean. But symbolically, that was kind of like, the life that my father left, going to the start of a new life. And we went to the Philippines. It's kind of our first base. We went to Wake Island, and we stayed there for, I would say, a few weeks. And then when we went to the U.S., we went to Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is the kind of the base in San Diego, where we waited for sponsors. And when we were there was a sponsor in Seattle. Actually, Valerie, we could have been neighbors up there. But my father felt that it was too cold, and he didn't. Again, he declined going to Seattle. And luckily, about a month later, he located his childhood teacher, when he was in school, and he was actually in New Orleans. And he wrote to my dad, and he said, New Orleans, the climate's warm, the people are friendly, they also speak French. And that's why my dad selected to go to New Orleans. That's his reason. And we were sponsored by Associated Catholic Charities. And when we came, we landed in New Orleans in July, and everybody knows how hot it is in July. And it was still very hot for us. But being young and just going on like a new adventure, it was a very neat experience. And we were just treated so very kindly by our sponsors at the church. There were also other families, and we were, one of the first Vietnamese families to have arrived. And it was just neat. We were able to, they gave us enough funding to rent a small apartment. My father found a job as a milkman. He also worked at the gas station in the beginning. And then, a few months after that, he decided to go to school. He went to Our Lady of Holy Cross College in New Orleans to get kind of a teaching certificate. And then from there, he went on to Loyola University, got his PhD from Walden University, and then he eventually was able to he was a counselor, with Jefferson Parish School, with the school district. He also was a counselor at Errett when I was there. Aird High School when I was there as well. But he just had the diligence and the perseverance to continue going to school at night. So he worked in the day, he went to school at night, and he was able to get his PhD, and eventually he was able to teach at Tulane. He taught some Vietnamese courses at Tulane, and actually for almost 20 years after his retirement as well. So I just wanted to just kind of share that. And of course, he kind of instilled kind of the work ethic and the ability to be dedicated and to work hard, being thankful, but also to help others. My father was a counselor, my mom was a teacher. And so they were in education all those years. We didn't have a lot. We struggled. There were times when it was hard for us. But looking back, you never felt like you were lacking anything. And certainly for me personally, going to school, going to high school, and then being admitted to the Louisiana school, and the friends that you see here on the screen, with Hi, and just everyone that you see here was also a life-changing experience, certainly for me personally. But for us, just kind of, just looking back, the trip and everything, just coming here and the unknowns, our parents took quite a lot of risk, and we thank them for that. But we also appreciate the families and the church and the Americans who helped us when we were here, our teachers, as well as the supporting organization, the schools, Louisiana School, our universities, just everything has been so helpful for us here. And so I kind of want to end with that. And I just want to just thank everyone for being here and for letting me share my experiences.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. So my turn now. Okay. Wow, today's a very special day, April 30th, 1975. I was also 7 years old, like him. So today, I did interview my brother on Sunday, this past weekend. And I talked to my mom and dad, so I get more information. Because at the age of 7, I don't remember a lot of things, but I thank them for sharing the story. So I will share the things that my brother and my mom and dad reminded me of it. Okay, so on the 30th of April, we were living in Phu Quoc Island. It's an island. Now, the previous week, we already left Saigon because my father worked for the government, and they knew ahead of time already. So we already evacuated. So we waited until, according to my brother Richard, he said he remembered hearing gunshots and all that. We finally heard that the Saigon fell, and that's when it was tonight, April 30th, 50 years ago. We boarded a merchant ship to go to head to Guam. And he reminded me on Sunday that we didn't go directly to Guam. We had to go and pick up more people on the coast of Vietnam. So initially, there were enough food for X amount of people. But since we had to go pick up more people, no way, enough food. So we left on April 30th. We didn't get to Guam until May 13th. Okay? So what that mean? We ran out of food. So when we ran out of food, oh boy, y'all, when that hunger, not having food is the most horrific feeling. I still traumatized by it. My father, he's a Buddhist monk. He was a Buddhist monk. So he practiced meditation. He practiced mindfulness. So he came up with the idea to teach us meditation. He told us all to sit down, breathe in, practice breathing. He came up with this great idea of tying a string around our stomach really tight so that we psychologically would not be hungry. It worked, but still, I tell you, the pain, the thinking of food, it was just incredible. You can't, even if you close your eyes, you think of food. And people died on the boat. So what do? You throw the people overboard. So at a young age, I see that. Wow, I still remember that. My sister Twee, who's here on this call, she was sick throughout the whole journey. She was seasick, really seasick. My mom, she's Catholic. She prayed. Like hopefully my sister did not eat at all. And she told me the story that once we landed at Guam, my sister miraculously just jetted out of the boat because she was so tired of being seasick. And she's here today, and obviously, later she could tell more about that specific incident about her. But to witness that you think your older sister could pass away, how traumatic could that be? So when we got to Guam, we stayed there for a couple of days, and then they processed the paperwork, and then we flew to Port Chaffee, Arkansas. That's where we stayed for. We got there May 16th. My brother Richard remember all these dates. He's amazing. May 16th, we got to Port Chaffee, Arkansas, and we stayed there until July 19th. And now during this time, this is when my mom told me the story that I totally forgot. My mom in Vietnam, she's a nurse. So when she got to Port Chaffee, she immediately volunteered as a nurse. She ran and helped the clinic. They didn't. I asked right away. You guys know me so well. Right. I asked my mom. Mom, did you get paid? She goes, no. It was all for free, helping the community out. So she worked. I asked her, what time you work, from what time to what time? She said from 8:30 to sunset, 6 p.m. every day, 7 days a week to help. And then I asked my mom, what did Dad do this time? And my mom said, oh, your dad ran the barracks. They chose my dad as the leader of the barracks. And my mom said, Dad was very fair. They all loved Dad because my dad, they would lay the food out in the barracks. And they assigned each barracks X amount of food. And my dad would just lay everything out the way everything's transparent. There was no shenanigans with it because he's a leader. So for a couple items, put his pocket, you know what I mean? No, he lay everything out. So the people really respect him, that everything was democratically, talk about fair and square. And that kind of leadership, I think, genetically, I think I got that from him. I hope. So it's very kind to see that my father did that. And what else? Memories of the Fort Chaffee. But I was young, so I, was running around the camp, having, a good time. I remember watching movies and all that. But one thing that my little sister can remember is we got tired of eating. So, and to this day, y'all, I cannot eat powdered eggs because we ate powdered eggs every meal. It is so horrible. Oh, and my mom said one time she saw someone eating a real egg, and we were like, "Wow, how did you get that?" You know what I'm saying? So again, like Tam was saying, when you don't have something and now you see it, like, oh my goodness, you really cherish it. And I have to share you the story of how our family moved on July 19th to Newton, Iowa. This story I remember. My dad called us around in a meeting, and he said, "Okay, guys, these are the cities that we got sponsored. We go to LA. I think my brother Richard can remember. I remember LA. So all I remember was all of us asked Mom and Dad, "Where is there snow? Where's snow?" And my dad says, "Iowa." Because we never seen snow before. So we voted. I remember my dad is very democratic. So he said, okay, we go to Iowa. And it was cold, y'all. It was so cold. We only lasted 2 years. But we must give credit to Iowa. Iowa is where the Lutheran Church sponsored my family. These people are the kindest people that I must admit, I still am affected by them. Because this is where I learned English. This is where I learned to give back. My brother reminded me, these are the people, for example, I have to thank Pastor Sederholm, the Surslins family, the Larsons family, and the Paulsons. These are the main four families that I remember the most. And of course, my brother stayed after, and there were his other family that he's, after we left New Orleans, my brother stayed after to finish his high school, and he went to university in Iowa. But we went to New Orleans because again, it just was so cold. So moving to New Orleans is again, when people ask where am I from, I always tell people I am from New Orleans, because technically, you know, Newton is only 2 years. New Orleans is where I got my soul. New Orleans is where I learned everything about good people, culture, everything. Louisiana is my home, and all my friends that you can see here today, they know what I mean. So I spent from the age of 10 years old until graduate from Tulane, which is, that's a long time, 22. So 12 years, oh, sorry, that my math right? Yeah, 12 years of my life, my foundational years is New Orleans. And then for those who missed earlier, I met my high school sweetheart in New Orleans. No, technically met her. And she is amazing. She taught me so many things about kindness, about you know, helping people, and that's why she's a doctor to this day. Look at her, fantastic. What else? And then of course we came to Houston after I graduated. My family moved to Houston already in '86, and once I graduated in '88, I came over to help with the family business. And my father, there's a couple of things my father, when I interviewed him Sunday, he said, tell your friends this message. Our family came over the United States with nothing, absolutely nothing. The second message is never give up. Never, ever give up. No matter how hard your life is, you don't give up. Okay? And this country will give you what you need. We've proved it. Our family has proven it. And Tam's family said the same thing. That's my father's message. And of course, to give back. And this is my next segment. I want to delve a little bit. By giving back is my activism. I know my friend Kathy now over 10 years, and my friend Cynthia, who's on the call. I joined the Greater Houston Coalition for Justice. The great Johnny Mata trained me. He taught me everything I know. And with these great friends, you know, I learned so much from them to you know, work with the media and all this, and you know, to fight the right fight. That's the one thing that my very good Kathy, our friend, always say: focus. Don't be all over the place. Stay focused. So my group in 2019, we formed a group called We the People Organize, and my group credo is to hold elected officials accountable and police accountable. That's my lane. People tell me to get off to try this education and that other stuff. I always say, no, I stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. And to be honest with you, my main case is the Tuttle's case, which is the family that was murdered. I think you guys saw my post on Facebook where I went to visit the mother. She lives in Natchitoches. So that was a very wonderful experience to get to see her finally. And you know, one thing is about my group is that it's difficult. I mean, an activist is so hard. Martin Luther King is so correct. The arc of justice is so long. I'm not paraphrasing correctly, but y'all heard it before. It takes so long. As a matter of fact, the news today, Kathy told me that the trial was supposed to start, the civil trial was supposed to start on May 5th. And what did they do? The judge do? Kick the can down the road again. So it's like, we were ready to go to trial, but no, delay. So we keep fighting. So that's like my father said earlier, do not give up. Do not give up. And, it's very, one thing that taught me very much so is that silence is complicity. Action is duty. That's my credo for this tonight. I want to also remind everyone that we have to commit to fighting for the America that we believe in. Hope we continue to work for truth, accountability, and justice for all. That's my goal for my purpose. And for now, thank you so much. But then I want to, before I let you go, I want to talk. Kathy has a story. Kathy, you want to tell something? Let me introduce you, Kathy. I'll be asked to unmute you. Hold on one second. 1 second, Kathy. Can you unmute, Kathy? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, let me introduce Kathy real quick. Kathy is a former officer from HPD, and she is my best friend when it comes to what we would do. Amazing. Like I said, I know her over 10 years. We talk like crazy, spend a lot of time together. And she has this wonderful story about, Kathy, you want to explain?
Hello, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I have over 20-some years in law enforcement, and being a law enforcement officer, you meet a lot of good people, a lot of bad people. You have a lot of stories that stick with you forever. And there's one particular story that I remember. I met this family at Shipley's Donuts, of all places. Cops love donuts, right? So I used to go to the Shipley's for breakfast every morning. And I got to know the people that worked there. They were a family. They were a little shy at first of talking to a police officer, but because I went there every morning and I actually talked to them, and I had a lot of culture diversity classes in the police department, so I got along well with them. I knew their culture. So one day, I went inside. I wasn't through the drive-through this time. I went inside, and they came from behind the counter, and there was only one person speaking. And they asked me, as a family, could I find their father? They had lost their father. So I was thinking, as police, I'm thinking somebody had kidnapped their father. And I said, well, what happened to him? And then they said, well, we lost him. And I said, okay, so did he die? You lost him? They said, no. When we came over on the boats, we got separated. And we just don't know where he is. Can you help us find him? Well, at that point, I was hooked. I was going to do whatever I could to find this man, because to me, family is everything. So I said all I had was his name. That's all he had, a name and birthday. They wrote it down for me, and I went to work. I used every resource I could come up with to find this man. And sure enough, I found a match in California. And I went back and I told them, this is what I found, and you have to reach out to this agency to see if this is your father. So probably about maybe 2 months passed, and I went to the Shipley's again. This time I went through the drive-through. Nobody was in Shipley's, nobody. So I'm thinking the store was being robbed, and everybody's tied up in the back. But I couldn't really get out of my car, because at the drive-through, when you drive up, you really can't open your door. So I started to back up so I could get out and what we call a welfare check, to kind of sneak around, look through the windows to see what was going on. Just when I went to get out of my car, they all come running to the front of the car. And I'm thinking, oh, somebody's chasing them with a gun at this point. but and because they did everything together. But when as they approached me, they're hollering and they're screaming, "We found him, we found him, we found him." But still, I'm thinking police. I'm thinking police. Oh, are we all in danger? Who's chasing you guys? And I'm like, okay, what are you saying? You found who? What are you talking about? And they're screaming at me, and all they're saying is, "We found him, we found him, we found him." And I'm screaming right back at them. Probably if anybody saw, they was thinking all of us was crazy because they're hollering as loud as they could. I'm hollering as loud as I could. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? So finally, somebody said, "Our dad, we found him. He's in California." Oh man, it was like, I got so light. All of that fear, that anxiety, that adrenaline, I just relaxed. And we stood there in the drive-thru. I think we hugged, we danced, we did. I know anybody passed by, they'd like, "What is that cop doing? What kind of dance are they doing?" Because we were all just shouting, we were praising God. We was just all over the place. I parked my car. We went inside. I think they fed me enough donuts. I didn't have to eat anything the rest of the day. As of today, I don't eat donuts because they was just, anytime I go there, it was kolaches or just coffee for me, but no more donuts. But it was just amazing. But that is one of it sticks with me. That stick with me. It was just a joy. And we kept in contact, and they all moved to California to be with the Father. And I tell you, I think about that family all the time. Out of my whole career, I have helped a lot of people, because being in law enforcement, you just don't arrest people. You have to have a mindset to try to help people. And but that is a family I will forever remember, because they were so happy just to find the Father. So that's my story. Hi. And the other thing I want to say, because of the cultural diversity classes I had, I joined the police department in '86. So a lot of Vietnamese and Chinese people were just settling in Houston, and being able to be friends with all of these different nationalities, it has enriched my life for a lifetime. Even at the nail salons, my life is much richer because I have met so many different people. And I call him Mr. Bowie. What Mr. Bowie didn't tell y'all was, in law enforcement, there's a thing called no-knock warrants. And people were getting killed all over the United States because of no-knock warrants. And when Mr. Bowie started his We the People organization, just one person, I always say, don't tell me one person can't make a difference, because Mr. Bowie, a great organizer, and yes, he probably got that from his father, but he's the best organizer I've ever met. He was able to get the police chief at that time, who was the chief over all of the national police chiefs in the States. He was able to get the police chief to change the protocol of no-knock warrants, which will save not only citizens' lives, but police officers' lives also. Because in the Tuttle's case, not only were the Tuttles killed, 4 police officers were shot also. 1 was paralyzed. But this one man, Mr. Hai Bowie, because of his hard work and his determination, he was able to change the protocol for no-knock warrants, where everything was changed, everything. So as a police officer myself, I like to thank you for your hard work and making those changes, because some police officers probably a lot of officers here in Houston appreciate that also, because they may show a brave face, but anytime you kicking somebody's door in, sometimes officers get hurt too. And they were afraid, but because of you, and I've talked to several officers, they praise Mr. Bowie for taking that stand. When he said action is duty, he took that serious. action, and he wasn't afraid. He didn't sit on the sideline and say, oh, too bad. No, he got involved. He created an organization, and when he said hold police and elected officials accountable, if you go to his webpage, you will see he has done just that. Just last month, he got a bad officer kicked off the force. So kudos to Mr. Bowie.
Thank you, Kathy. You're so kind.
Bravo.
Thank you. I'll take you to lunch tomorrow, Kathy. Thank you so much. Okay, brother, can I just, my brother and sister real quick? Richard, do you want to say anything, my brother? Unmute, just unmute. You have to unmute, brother. Unmute. Brother, you have to unmute. Yeah, you have to unmute.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. It's my brother, Richard.
Well, congratulations, brother, for your accomplishments to the officers over there.
Thank you.
That's something I did not know you did that. Yeah.
Well,
my brother, since he left Tulane University, and he joined me in Houston and worked with me as a vice president at my clothing company. And I started in 1989 with him. Without him, I tell you, I cannot accomplish for what we had done. So I really appreciated all his hard work, dedications, joined me and not pursuing further education. And just once he saw the opportunities back then he joined me, and we operate a company for 25 years and had 172 employees with a clothing company. It was called Yaga. And then later on, we changed to Buyaka, which later become a brand name in Houston. But unfortunately, 2014, we had to shut it down after a 25 years run. So then we move on to next ventures. Since then, I do all kind of odds and ends jobs, but I enjoyed the most, it would be the general contractor, building, the constructions, those things, which is in my passion. For 50 years, I have lived in this country. I have learned so much. I have learned kindness I have witnessed all kind of kindness from the Americans who had done so much for our family, for myself. They have taught me so much about the meaning of life. So after many years, I was come up with one word is service. To tell you the truth, service. That is the purpose of life. And since then, I've been applying it. I do anything. I help all kind of folks from all walks of life as much as I can. That's just because I want to give back to what the Americans had done for me and for my families and for the Vietnamese refugees as a whole. Yeah. So, well, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And my sister Ty, he's here. Oh, my sister Twee, is she still here? Sister Twee, are you sleepy? I guess she's sleepy. Okay, Sister Ty, you have to unmute. My youngest sister. Sister, you want to say anything? Yes? There you go.
I just, it's nice to finally meet everyone. I just want to say that, I was the youngest one coming to America and experiencing, there was a lot of cultural differences, but I just, I have my children of my own. And unfortunately, of course, I married a colonizer. As my children would always tease me, like, Mom, you married a colonizer. How could you? And he's not only an American, he's a French man. So there's a lot of diversity in my household. But the one thing that my children and my husband, mostly my husband, he and I both agree on one thing. America is great. And it is the best country. We traveled, we've met so many people, and even my children too. They say, Mom, nothing beats America. We are so fortunate and we are so blessed to live in such a great country. The democracy that we have, just having a choice And even the police here, even though, I mean, we see so much chaos, but like you say, there's good people and there's bad people. And it's how we treat each other what makes a huge difference. And being kind is what we have taught our children to do. And, you know, it's like America to me has always been such an open door. And we've given back as much as we can through Parent Teacher Association or within our community. My husband's also a general contractor. And we kind of like cleaned up our neighborhood here. And so it's like we're just helping everybody out. And even my husband says, you know, you don't see that in where he's from in France, you know. You see such a community, and wherever you live, you see a community. And I'm so happy and grateful to live here. You know, being back in America, I'm an outsider. I'm an outsider. So, but here, I feel more comfortable here. And it's so nice to see what my brothers and my sister has grown up to do it with their life, and see my parents reach the age of 90, and for them to teach us to give back also. And like now I know where the term "don't give up." I did not know it's from our dad. It's so ironic because every day I tell my kids, don't give up. You know, my son now wants to become an ER doctor. And I go, what? That's amazing. Don't give up. Just go for it. Who cares? The finances, who cares? Do what you want to do. And that's the thing about America. It's like they teach us, follow your passion. And I've never heard of that. Growing up Asian, you're like, what? Follow your passion? No, listen to us. We tell you what to do. So I'm allowing my children to follow their passion. And ironically, both of them wants to be doctor. And I had nothing to do with that. That's the funny part. But I'm just so grateful. And just to hear how we came to America from my brother's perspective, because I was little. All I did was play in the sand, ran around. I didn't even know we were starving. I had zero clue. I saw fishes flying over the boat. That was it. I didn't know people were dying. You know, but the funny thing is, I will share this. I never knew darkness until I came to America. I never knew that because all those years growing up in Vietnam, I saw sunsets at night. Just sunsets. I never saw the dark. So now I understood why. You know? So that's a food for thought when I told my kids that. I've never experienced darkness until coming to America and seeing the stars for the first time. So that's something I always leave to tell my children. Be grateful. That's it. And thank you for letting us share all of this. It's wonderful to hear, you know. I would love to hear Tuing's story, and I'm glad Tam.
You want to join, Wayne? Come on. You can give us your version. We'd love to hear your family story.
I think you guys summarized it pretty well. Similar trip, but I wanted to share a story about Hai. Since picking on us all the time. We were in college together, and you know, it was during the AIDS epidemic. So I was studying the viruses and how it's reacts to the body and what it's doing, how it's killing people. And Hai wanted to go out and pass out condoms. That was his activist. He made me go stand in the quad and pass out condoms to just try and stop the disease process. So he was an activist from way back.
That's correct.
But yes, America is a great place. And, you know, my kids, I didn't know what they were going to be, but one day they told me they wanted to be a doctor. And I said, why? Because they watch Grey's Anatomy. Not because they see me working, but because they watch Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, there's lots of reasons how kids are influenced around here. But yeah, America's a great country. And I was wondering, how many Vietnamese refugee came to America at that 50 years ago? Does anyone know?
Good question. I think, and Young, you know the number? Was it
I
a
sent it.
million? Was it up to a million or not
Up to
yet?
now, I think we are about 1.4, 1.5 millions.
Right. I sent it to you, Hi. I sent it to you. I just
You
don't
have it?
remember. I sent it to
Okay.
you earlier.
Okay.
So has there ever been a group of people that immigrated to the United States at one time like that? Because,
That's good. Yeah.
the United States
one
kind of
time,
all
but-
came together,
Yeah.
all these churches, and they,
No, that's a good question. All I know is this, because thank you to President Ford. President Ford signed, the declaration to accept Vietnamese to come over. And that without his help, we would not be here. That's the key. He signed the executive order. He said, okay, since yes, we lost the Vietnam War, we have to do the right thing, bring these people in. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Can you imagine now with this current guy? Would he do that?
There
No.
was 200,000 people. There was 200,000 people. He was rescued at that time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate President Ford. I really do. And there was a lot of, to be honest with you, there was a lot of racism. I was studying the history. There was a lot of people against that. Saying, no. We don't want all these Vietnamese to come in. No. But he was adamant. Said, no, we got to do the right thing. We have to do the right thing. Can I recognize one other person, Miss Cynthia Cole, my very good friend. Another reason why I want to organize this 50th anniversary is because she inspired me 8 years ago. She was so kind to invite me to Memphis, Tennessee, to do a march for Martin Luther King. And so, this is golden anniversary. It's a big, big deal. And we got to march with Bernie Sanders, a whole bunch of politicians back then. So Cynthia, I love you to death. I loved you. I met Jesse Jackson there. And she comped everything. I didn't have to pay anything. Only thing I did was pay one meal. So I love you for that, Cynthia. So again, golden anniversary is a big, big number. So I really appreciate everyone coming. Those who want to stay and bash Trump, you're welcome to stay. Those who leave, I understand. But again, thank you so much for everyone coming. I really appreciate you all. It is at the 1 hour mark already. And
Valerie has her hand up real quick.
Yes, anyone want to say anything? Go ahead. Questions and answers now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say, kind of echo what I put in the chat. Hi, thank you so much for organizing this and sharing your stories and sharing your family. I'm inspired.
Oh, thank you.
I'm grateful.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you,
We
Valerie.
love you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah.
Love you.
Thank you, Valerie.
I think we
David?
all agree with Valerie.
Thank you, Sharon. David, I saw your hand up, David. Wanna
Yeah,
say something?
I just by coincidence, I was in a meeting today with the CEO of Catholic Charities in Nashville. And I wanted to share a couple numbers that actually came up in the discussion relevant to what we were just saying. In recent years, the U.S. has accepted between 50,000 and 100,000 refugees per year. Under Trump, he immediately reduced that number down to 15,000. On top of that, he immediately refused to pay the settlement organizations that already had contracts with the federal government. So when Catholic Charities is distributing aid, they're actually using dollars that they're getting from the federal government. And in the current year, it's $1,650 is what they give a refugee family, a household, for 3 months. So that's what they're using to get resettled. Catholic Charities had already paid $500,000 that the federal government was going to be paying them back, and the federal government just said, no, we're not going to pay. And so, that's the sort of, in my mind, cruelty that we see going on with the current actions.
Wow. Thank you, David. Thank you.
Yeah. And Cynthia has something. Yeah.
Cynthia, want to say something?
Just, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. First of all, hi, what a beautiful opportunity this has been to hear those stories. And they're so touching because when you think about just a melting pot or the diversity, people always just go to one particular culture. And it's not a white and black kind of cut dry experience because we are all one when we get finished. And I wanted to just, I'm not going to take long, but tell you hi. You know, you and Kathy, y'all one of my favorite people. I love you to death. But don't think that you're going to get off just that easy. Now, all of that training that you got, all of that exposure, we got to, this is not about, you know, that saying, oh, pull yourself up by the bootstrings. Well, see, we don't have boots.
No.
So we can't pull ourselves up by the bootstrings. Nobody got boots. But we can't let this narcissistic sociopath define all of who we are. So I am going to say to you, your family, and everyone that's on here, be encouraged not to just don't give up, but don't give out. Mm-hmm. Stop giving the orange man oxygen. Do you see how talented everybody is? We don't need you to tell us if we need to have diversity and inclusion. That was some self-made, something or other. It didn't stop in families from being able to come to the United States, find homes, be treated with kindness. That doesn't require for me to have to follow no law. That's just about being a humanitarian and loving the creation, the people, the animals, loving this earth, loving who we are. So before I dip out, I want you to know how I can't, don't y'all hang up your advocacy towels, because we got some stuff we're going to be doing. And it's going to impact everybody. But we certainly have to make sure that we understand the project is don't give oxygen to ridiculousness. We all give all of that. I believe in the power of off. Turn it off. I don't listen to it. I don't care about it. I'm just going to keep moving. And there are way too many talented individuals who can create their own economic independence and take care of community. We can do it.
Thank you, Cynthia.
That's all.
Wonderful, wonderful
well
words.
said.
Thank you. Well said. Hear, hear.
Well said. Yes.
Calvin, anything by my brother, Calvin? Anything you want to say? You can't hear me? No? Can't hear?
Oh,
Unmute
he can't talk.
He can't talk. Oh, okay. He can't talk.
Oh.
Okay. I think Earl, you're very articulate, my brother. Anything, Earl? Are you still there, Earl?
Yeah, I'm still here. Hi.
My friend, please.
I wanted to thank all of you for sharing your story. It's funny, all the time we spent together talking about all kinds of things, I never really understood what you all went through to get to this country, and the circumstances that your families endured to settle here and start a new life. It's I just want to echo Val's note about it being truly inspiring, and really at the heart of it, a real American story.
Yes.
And so I am happy that you had this celebration. I'm really glad I got a chance to participate in it and to be touched and uplifted by those stories, to continue to write an American story with this as part of the rich tapestry of who we are.
Indeed.
Beautifully, Earl. You're always wonderful. Thank you, Earl. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, with that, again, tomorrow's May the 1st, y'all. We are protesting all over the world. So I invite you in your local community to go and protest. There's also press protest this Saturday. I think is my friend Frank from Starbucks still here, Frank? We are doing something tomorrow, he and I, at City Hall. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, it's very easy. It's not about numbers, you all. It's about being effective. I just want to remind you all again, being effective. So stay focused and never give up, like I told you guys earlier. And of course, to love everyone, be kind. And I love you all so much. Thank you so much for coming. And have a wonderful good night.
We love
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Kai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hi.
everybody.
Good night,
All
everybody.
Take care,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, Hi.
right.
Bye,
Thank
Glenn.
you.
Night. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Honey.
Hi.
Kathy, okay, we got it. Bye bye. Okay, thank you.
Hi, hi.
Sis, still there?
Chị không biết turn it off.
Oh, really? Just turn off, sis.
Chị đang try to turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good meeting.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. Okay, sis. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
My
bye.
brother. Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kathy. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, Kathy. Hello, 1 second, Kathy. Kathy? I'll call you back, Kathy. I'm sorry.